Hey, Fearless Millionaire. I wanted to share a powerful thought with you today, and that is that it's okay to be a squirrel sometimes. Here's what I mean. If you've ever seen the movie Up, where, the dog is constantly being distracted by a squirrel, loves to chase squirrels, and, every time he sees me, he's like, squirrel! And sometimes we as humans can be that way. We are trying to go on our path, we're setting off on our journey, and then all of a sudden something comes and distracts us from what we're truly trying to achieve, right? And so it's like that squirrel approach where we're going from one thing to another. But let me tell you something that's also really important about squirrels, just in case you didn't know, is that squirrels actually are, one, they're forgetful. And thank God they're forgetful, because squirrels actually help plant trees. All the seeds and acorns that they forget actually turns into trees. So listen to how unique that is. Out of their forgetfulness, we have more and more trees available because of their labor, forgetful labor, let's call it that. And it's a very powerful thing. God is just very unique in the way He's designed His creation, and He's also made you very unique. What's super important about you and what you're doing and setting off in your business and your journey, your personal journey, is that although sometimes you may act like a squirrel, right? And you may see a shiny object and you may jump from one project to another, and it may be distracting you from your main purpose. But you always have to know that you have to be working like the squirrel. You have to always know that you got to be putting in that effort, planting seeds, so that later on it can actually come back to you and you can have those results that you're looking for, right? So here's something even deeper than that. Having complete clarity of where you're going before you even get there. That means knowing exactly what your desired outcome is. See the end in mind already before you begin the journey. That means know exactly what you want it to look like, how you want it to feel, what the experiences you want to have. I'll give you a personal example. 5 years ago, when I decided to go digital and go virtual, one of the things I was like, how can I make that happen? Like, what does it look like to me? And how can I make that happen? So I actually envisioned my life of just working on a laptop and working on it from a phone. And at the time, I'll give you an example. At the time when I made this goal, I was literally carrying a briefcase that was like, it was a roller briefcase, right? So it had the rollers behind, and I dragged this suitcase with me everywhere. And I remember sitting in my office chair and I was looking at that bag and I said, this bag is big. What do I carry in this bag? And most of it was a bunch of papers. And this was literally about 5 years ago. And I said, what am I doing with these papers? What am I doing with all these things? How often do I touch each object, right? Or is it just a distraction? Why do I even have this, right? And so I actually got rid of that bag and I switched over to a smaller bag. And from there, I've continued to change bags over time to reduce what I have and completely go digital, right? Just having no paper, right? Going from papers to actually completely digital, no paperwork at all. And that just led me on this path of going completely digital. Here's the reason why I share that with you. Start small. The squirrel plants an acorn. He plants a seed, and that seed turns you into a tree. I mean, think about that for a second. A small seed turns into a tree, and you have acorns too. You have the opportunity to plant your seeds every day. You have to be planting your seeds, because in time, not every single seed becomes a tree, but over time they will. Over time, some take root and they grow. And so you have to think about that for your business, right? You have to think about that for the seeds you're planting and what you're building. Not every seed is going to take root, but the ones that do, they will get there, and they take time. That's something to remember and consider, is that it takes time. It takes time. Your seeds are going to take time to grow. That means never give up. And once you have that focus, once you know, like, hey, that's where I'm going, I'm headed in that direction, that's my destination, that's where I want to be. So years ago, I knew that I wanted to have this lifestyle. I call it, some people call it, the virtual lifestyle, the laptop lifestyle. I've been calling it going digital, and I needed to know what that looked like, so I had to start dreaming up these ideas, and I slowly started taking steps. So the point here is dream big, but start small. Dream big and start small. Jeff Bezos, the founder and owner of Amazon.com, he in an interview, he said something very profound. He said, we start a lot of projects, a lot of small projects at Amazon. We start a lot of small projects, and not all of them come to fruition. Not all of them become a big thing. He said, before we came out with Alexa, the app, the artificial intelligence of Alexa, he said we tried about 15 other projects before Alexa that didn't really stick. They just didn't hold true. And then finally we came out with Echo, the voice activation speaker system, microphone speaker system included with Alexa. And he said that took us many projects to get to that point. He said, but you know what? Start small, because those things will, after a while, those things will become your tree, right? So keep focused, work on your goals and dreams every day, plant your seeds every day, and never give up. Wait for your trees to grow, because it's coming. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you've had this experience and you see your trees growing maybe before you, or you're just planting your seeds, leave a comment below. Love to hear your comments. I try to get to all of them and read them and try to reply back to all of them. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the page, and you'll get updated on new videos that come out. I'll see you real soon.